Hey ladies, thanks for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mitzi and I'm a paper girly. And if you're a returner, well, welcome back. Okay girls, so today we are going to talk about The Breakfast Club. And I'm going to just go out there on a limb and say that if you're on this video, then you have seen The Breakfast Club, because we are women of a certain age that grew up in a time when John Hughes movies were all the rage. And this is just, another brilliant John Hughes film. And oh gosh, I mean, there was something about that man that knew how to write with a teenager voice, with a teenager's voice, with understanding teenagers in a way that a lot of people just don't. And I think for us, because we are women of a certain age, for us Gen X gals, we were searching for that. We were searching for somebody who we felt understood what we were going through at that time. And so The Breakfast Club, again, has some really great underlying themes in it that I think that we can get a lot out of. So we are going to get right to the journal quote, and then the journal prompts, and then to the craft, because girls, I have a real fun one, but it did take me a little while to put down, so this is going to be a longer video. Okay, so the prompt that I have to start us out with is by Andrew Clark. That was Emilio Estevez. He was the jock, and this is just, I think a real good quote, because I think it just speaks to all of us that have had that thought, this thought over the years. And especially, we can look at it from a different perspective now that we're older, but I think in our own way, in our own vernacular, we thought about it back then as well. And this is what he says. He says, "We're all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it. That's all." So that is by Andrew Clark. And goodness, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? We all have our own little, quirks and, weirdness about us. I mean, I've shared a few of mine here. The one nice thing is that, we all have things in common as well. And I think that is what the core of this film is about. It is about breaking through those social masks that we often wear, to understand that, gosh, it's our backgrounds that play a lot into who we are, and realizing that a lot of times we're a lot more complex than just, our outside roles, the labels that maybe somebody has placed on us over the years. And goodness, this is just a real good representation of the idea of different roles, different stereotypes, different labels. And I know that right now we're living in a society where there's a lot of labels flying around. And oh my goodness, I cannot believe that it has been 41 years. It has been 41 years since The Breakfast Club was released. And it was such a revelation at that time for us as teenagers. And now we're the adults, and we still haven't figured this out. We still haven't figured out that, guess what? Nobody likes a label. I mean, unless your label is mom or possibly, wife or partner, nobody likes a label. So goodness, do I have some things to say about this? Do I have some thoughts on this? Yeah, I think we all do. So let's get to these journal prompts, and then we'll go into a little bit of a discussion about it. Okay, so the first journal prompt deals with breaking your stereotype, and this is called the social mask. So here the question or the prompt is, list 3 to 5 labels you feel others or society has placed on you. How much of that label is who you actually are, and how much of it is a persona you've adopted to fit in? So that is the first journal prompt. The second journal prompt is under family and upbringing, and this one we're calling parental pressure. And gals, I just want to warn you that this might, trigger a few feelings for you, because, I know that it did for me. So, because girls, remember when they're sitting in the circle, and they're having that deep discussion finally when we get to that point of the movie, a lot of the things that they are talking about theme around the idea that they don't want to disappoint their parents. And they just, or I mean, they feel like they have disappointed their parents. So the question here is, what is the heaviest expectation your family has placed on you, and how has it influenced your life choices? So that is the second journal prompt. The next two we're going to categorize under peeling back the layers. And the first one is the what would I be question. So the question is, if you didn't care about what your peers, family, or society thought of your choices, what hobbies, careers, or passions would you pursue? Because goodness, I think that for a long time we have, well, I know that I have made choices not under my own volition. I have made them for other people. I've made them because I felt responsibilities toward other things, and I did not make them for me. So that is the first question under peeling back the layers. And then the second one is called the janitor's perspective. The janitor, Carl, remember Crazy Carl, who they meet when they're in the hallway when they're going to the bathroom? The janitor, Carl, sees the students for who they truly are because he watches them without judgment. And gosh, I'm always telling my kids, hey, you know what? Just be your authentic self. Just be your authentic self, because somebody is always watching you. Somebody is always watching you. So it doesn't make sense for you to put on a mask, for you to, be anything other than yourself, because somebody's going to see you when you're not thinking about it, and they're going to know who you really are. So just be your authentic self. So this question is, who in your life sees the real you, and what makes their perspective so valuable to you? Now, the last two journal prompts fall under the category of vulnerability and connection. And the first one I'm calling the circle of trust. And the reason I'm calling it that is because, goodness, when we're in the library and they're sitting in that circle and they're sharing why, they're at the breakfast club, and then they start, really going deep. They start going deep into why they're there and the stories behind why they feel really kind of crappy about it. Well, that's why we're calling this one the circle of trust. So the question is, what is the truth about yourself that you rarely share with others, and how does holding that in affect you? And honestly, the important part here isn't about writing about what it is, but what it makes you feel, how it makes you feel, how it has affected your life and your emotional well-being. So that's the key here. And then the second one, the last one, is called forgiving yourself. And girls, I'm always on here talking about it. That sometimes the hardest thing for us to do is the one thing that we need to do the most, and that is to forgive ourselves, because we are human. We are human and we make mistakes. And then in order to move forward from that, in order to move forward toward joy, to be able to move forward, to live better by knowing better and doing better, we have to forgive ourselves. So the question here is, what mistake from your past are you still holding on to? And what would it look like to finally forgive yourself for it? And ladies, I get it. I know this is a hard one. This is a hard one for us because we have been preconditioned. We've been preconditioned by society over the years to just have high expectations of ourselves, high expectations, unrealistic expectations, and it is just our emotional wiring to then feel guilt when we don't meet those expectations, to feel guilt or shame when we fall short of what people expect of us or what we expect of ourselves. And I think that's the key here. A lot of the times, the shame or the guilt or, the lack of being able to forgive ourselves really lays inside of ourselves. It lays inside of ourselves because we have just such high expectations of ourselves. And girls, we got to let that go. We got to let that go in order to find peace, in order to finally find some freedom to go out there and live life joyfully, live the life that we want, live the life that we deserve. We have to be kinder to ourselves, and being kinder to ourselves meaning forgiving ourselves just the way that we forgive so many people in our lives. So the first step is doing it for yourself. Okay, so those are the journal prompts for the Breakfast Club. And ladies, if you're new to my channel, if this is the first time that I have popped up onto your screen and you are into intentional living and journaling, intentional living through journaling, then I would love it if you would like and subscribe so that you can meet us back here on Monday. Monday through Friday, I drop videos with journal prompts that hopefully will help you to journal because I am an avid, fangirl of journaling, I guess you'll call me. I love, stickers and notebooks and, all that stuff here at the Paper Girlie Studio. However, what I love the most here is the idea of going out, supporting and celebrating women through the act of journaling. So if that is your vibe, I would love to invite you to come back and join us here on Monday. And also, if this is the first time that you're seeing me, or if you haven't gotten to the point in my other videos, then I'd like to tell you about the Paper Girlie Studio Facebook group. We have a Facebook group that is all women of a certain age. We go on there, we share our journal spreads, we share just fun stickers and crafting and just, things that we're into, that we want to share with each other. It is a community of fabulous women that, gosh, we're starting a book club. We're starting a book club on Monday. With this book, the Book of Alchemy, which is a book all about journaling. All about journaling by Suleika Shaward, and we're starting a book club on Monday. So over there, we do things like book club, we do things like Happy Meal exchanges. It is a good time. So if you're new to my channel, or if you are not new but you haven't heard about it before, then I would love to invite you over there as well. There's a link in the description underneath this video. You'll pop onto it, it pops you over to the group, you answer a couple of really easy questions, and then you're in. So that is the quote, and those are the journal prompts. And if that's all you wanted from this video, then go out, have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you back here on Monday. However, for the rest of you gals that like the crafting, you know what time it is. It is craft time. Okay, ladies, so since I kind of did you dirty on Tuesday with that paper crane, that crazy paper crane with Karate Kid, I thought today for the Breakfast Club, we would do something super duper easy. I promise you, anybody can do this. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself 2 pieces of paper, or actually you could even use 1 piece of paper. I'm using 2 because I have colored paper. However, if you don't have colored paper laying around, then girl, just get a white piece of paper. If you have a pen, color it gray, because girls, what we're going to make is we are going to make our high school locker. Yep, that's what I said. We are going to make our high school locker. I'm going to say, even if you're older, even if you weren't in high school in the 80s, you might have had a locker and it probably was gray. So get yourself a gray piece of paper, or get yourself a white piece of paper. Use what you got. If you have pens or colored pencils or even crayons, color it gray. So I'm using a gray piece of paper, and it is 6 inches by 9 inches. I just took a regular old scrapbook piece of paper and cut it down. So this is going to be our locker. And then, girls, again, this is what I'm using. Use what you got. But I took a piece of scrap paper out of my scrap paper box. I had black and full transparency. If I had like metallic gray, I would have used it. However, I don't have it, and it is too late to go down to Michael's or, any of those type of stores to find some. So I'm just using a plain gray piece of paper. So what we're going to do, really easy. If you have a scoreboard, you're going to score it at the 3-inch mark, because it is basically just going in half. So this is how you do it. You just score it down. You score it down, and girls, if you don't have, one of these fancy little scory things, but you have a scoreboard, goodness, you can use, I've used an orange wood stick, I've used a chopstick, I've used just a regular pencil and then erased it if, it made a mark. So I'm going to score mine down. I have the scrapbook paper, so I need to push quite hard on it. And girls, if you don't have a scoreboard, then just use a ruler. Just use a ruler and make these measurements, and then mark and fold in half. Because girls, I mean, sometimes people say, oh, I don't have all the fancy stuff. And guess what? You don't need the fancy stuff. You don't need the fancy stuff to enjoy making a craft. And this one, I mean, goodness, I only use this because I had it. I had it and I thought, you know, I could show you the markings easier on it. But goodness, you know, I don't even know if I would take it out of my drawer to make this because this is so simple. Okay, so I'm going to just put this down and then we will continue on. Okay, so now we have our paper and we're just going to fold it in half. And if you're new to scoreboards, you actually fold toward the little bump. So we're going to put that in half and there we go. There we go. We now have our locker. So then what do we do with this? Well, again, you can use, you know, a paper cutter if you have a paper cutter. If you don't, then just measure it out with a ruler and then cut it with some scissors. Cut it with some scissors, cut it with an X-Acto knife, you know, whatever you got, use that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the little slats at the top. So for me, I just used my scoreboard and I thought I was doing 1/4 of an inch, but it actually is, it actually was a quarter of, or 10, is it 1 centimeter? 1 centimeter is what I made mine at. But for you, you might want to do 1/4 of an inch if you have something that can measure that easier, you know, on your ruler or on your cutting board. So what you're going to do is we're going to cut out, well, what we're going to do here is we're going to cut out 2 inches. We're going to cut out 2 inches because our locker is 3 inches long. So we're going to cut out 2 inches and then we just take this and we cut it again at 1/4 or a centimeter. A centimeter for me because that's what my board says on it. So we're just going to cut that and we're going to make 3 of those. We're going to make 3 of these little little rectangles of the black. And girls, if you don't have black, then you can just use another color. I'm going to use black just because that's what I have and that's what, well, full transparency, I got this idea from Natalie. I got it from Natalie and I'm just doing it my way. So she did it her way and I did it my way. So we're going to actually, we're going to do 3 for the slats and then we're going to do 1 more for the lock. This other one is going to be just the same. It's going to be just the same as what you just did. So we're going to have 4 all together, just like this. So we have 4 pieces all together. Okay, so then we're going to take one of the pieces and we're going to cut that in 1/3. And you know what? I'm not even going to use my cutting board for that. I'm not even going to use my cutting board for that because I can figure it out kind of what 1/3 is. So we're just going to cut off about 1/3 of it. Boom, just like that. Okay, so here we go. We have our 3 pieces, we have our smaller piece, and then we have our locker. So I'm going to open up my locker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue, my good old trusty Barely Art glue, and I'm just going to glue this down. So see how easy this is, girls? See, every day isn't going to be paper crane day. And goodness, I don't even know what I was thinking. Well, I know what I was thinking. I was thinking that it was a good idea. However, it turned out to be not the best idea. Like I always say, you know what? Everything that I make here isn't necessarily going to be a banger every single time. So I take tweezers. Ooh, goodness. Okay, that's going to dry clear, so it's not a big deal. Because I want to, and actually I'm going to do this upside down. I'm going to do this upside down so that I can just lay down these here. And I'm just going to try to get it as even as possible in there and hopefully get it straight the first time around so I don't have to, you know, stop my video and redo it. Because you know me, I probably would. So here we go. We're going to put 1 down. And then we're going to put another 1 down. And my paper has a little bit of texture on it. So I'm trying to, the outside of the gray has texture. The outside of the gray has texture. The black does not. And I did that kind of on purpose, if I'm honest, because I like the idea of having the kind of more matte black against the texture of the gray. So there we go. Is it exactly perfect? I don't think so. I'm looking at my screen, at my video screen, and it doesn't look exactly perfect, but well, good enough. We know what we're doing here. We know what we're going for. And at the end, it's actually the inside where it gets really exciting. So this is those little grates at the top of a locker. Remember those? So that is the top of the locker. Does that look, familiar to you? I'm going to say yes. And then this last one we are going to make as the handle. We're going to make this as the handle. And again, we're just going to pop a little bit of glue on here. And, glue is one of those things that sometimes less is more. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on there. And then we're just kind of eyeball this and put that down. So that is going to be where the lock goes. So for me, because I have one of these fancy metallic pins, I'm going to use it to draw my lock. Goodness, if you don't have one of these, then, well, I'm going to just say it again, use what you got. Use what you got. And in this case, if you don't have a pin like this, that actually, let me see, how am I going to do this? If you don't have a pin like this that will draw on black, then you might want to rethink what colors you're going to use for your handle here and your grates. So you could do gray with white on top. You could do gray with, a fun color if you want to. It's up to you. Obviously, it's up to you. So that is going to be where my little lock goes. And girls, oh my gosh, while that dries here, I don't know about you, but I still have like nightmares that I'm at school and I can't remember my locker combo. I can't remember my locker combo, and I can't believe, it has been, let's see, I'm 54 now, so it has been over 30 years. I'm going to say, well, let's see. Oh gosh, where's Andy? Andy is in China, so I can't have her do the math for me. But I'm going to say it has been around 36 years, 37 years. Yeah, 37 years since I have been in high school. And I still have nightmares that I cannot remember my locker combination, because that was just, oh my gosh, that was, yeah, this girl had an issue with remembering her locker combination. In high school, where I went to school with, we had locker partners. So I always shared my locker. Gosh, my entire high school existence, I shared it with my friend Isa. So there we go. I just took a little black ink. I used my Micron pen, because that always works well for me. And I made my little lock. So then here we go. How easy is that? That is our locker. Okay, so we're going to open it up just like we do. Ding, 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 ding. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. 1, boom, 47, 53, 38. I don't know. Whatever your locker combination was. Oh, goodness. I almost forgot. I'm one of those crazy, crazy people that remembers the most random of things. And I still remember my locker number. My locker number of my senior year. So I was going to put that up here. And my locker number was 624. Can you believe that I remember that? 624. So that is my locker. So girls, now we get to the exciting part, and we're going to open it up and we're going to decorate the inside of our locker. Now everybody, this is going to be different for everybody. I understand that. I get that. And well, girls, because I just got that new sticker machine, that crazy sticker machine, I printed out some stickers. I printed out some stickers to stick inside my locker, and I thought, you know what? Let's print out some stickers of things that would be inside my locker. Mine, I printed out my senior year picture. It says class of 90 there. I just took a photograph that I had and I scanned it and then I printed it out. And goodness, look at me. Look at me. I always come on here and I talk about, that crazy hair, and I made fun about Monty and her crazy hair. And I hope I measured this out right. How we had big, curly, crazy hair, or not necessarily curly, but big hair. Look at that hair, girls. That was big. That was big. Oh, no, I didn't measure it out right. But let's see. I might have to lay that back in there again. Ooh, goodness. So I'm going to put this in as tight as possible, and then I'll just cut off the edge. So I thought I had measured it. Oh, you know what I did? I made my picture 3 inches wide, but then I forgot that when it cuts it out, it would have a little border around it. So, oh gosh. So I'm going to eventually get this stuck in, and then I will cut off the edge. So, oh, you know what? Yeah, there's a teeny tiny edge. I'll just cut that off at the end. So that is my senior picture. Yep, that's my senior picture. Let me see. You know what? I need something to hold this down. Here, I'll just use this ruler. So that is my senior picture. I will cut off the edge. Do I want to put a little piece of washi? I might as well. Sorry about the glare here. I might as well use a piece of washi just because, girls, I have so much of it. I have so much washi tape. I'm going to have to start putting washi tape in everybody's Happy Mail that I send off because, girls, I have so much of it. And, oh my gosh, I can't find the beginning of this. Where's the beginning? I can't feel it. I need to redo my nails so badly. I cannot feel it. Well, I can't feel the edge of that, so I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it because we're going to move forward. Because, girls, look what else I printed out. So I printed out things like 17 magazine, Glamour magazine. I printed out a Walkman. You know, remember the Walkmans? Can you believe that we thought that we were just, ooh, so hip and cool because we had a Walkman? I mean, who could have believed back then that we would progress to the point of that? I mean, goodness. Yeah, I haven't even gone to the final point because I still use, AirPods. But gosh, I looked at those crazy Ray-Ban sunglasses. I tried them on when I was at a Target the last time I was there. And I was thinking, this has got to be a racket. This can't work. And it does. You wear them, you put them on your face, you put them on your head, and you can listen to music through them. It's crazy. It is just banana pants to me. But anyway, so let's see. Tears for Fears. That was big in '89. I have my lip smackers. I have my Bonnie Bell Kissin' It lip gloss. Of course, I have my Aquanet. This was the top Billboard female artist of the '80s. I thought that would be fun. I had things from school. I have, just school textbooks. I have a calendar. I always had a calendar in my locker. We'll see if I have room for that. We have that calculator. Remember that freaking 30X, what is it? Texas Instrument calculator. I mean, I couldn't even figure out how to do the calculator, let alone how to do math. And then, of course, we had Trapper Keepers. Remember good old Trapper Keepers? And this is a Lisa Frank one. And if you are an old school, sticker gal, then this has got to look familiar to you. And then I've made things like, jelly shoes. Jelly shoes were all the rage when I was a senior in high school, and I had all the colors. Then, of course, you had to have a mirror inside your locker. You had to have that because you had to, check your lip gloss, your Bonnie Bell, between every single class. Rolling Stones with Cyndi Lauper. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That was a huge, huge hit in the 80s. And that was because MTV just started. And then here I have Boomers Drive-In. And if I have room, I will put that in there. This is where I worked all through high school. So I'm going to just start sticking things in my locker. So girls, I have this crazy sticker machine. So that's what I'm using. You can, draw things. You can, I'm looking for my little thing. You can draw things. You can cut things out of old magazines. You can look up things on your computer, and that's why I made these stickers. As I just looked up things from the 80s, went down memory lane of the things that I enjoyed in the 80s, and then I printed them out. You can print it out on your printer and then cut it out and then glue it down. You can print it onto sticker paper, whatever you want to do, however you want to decorate the inside of your locker, then I say you do you. Just have fun with it. So I'm going to just start sticking these down. Oh gosh, I saw these little lip smackers last time when I was in Bellingham, and I thought they were, I ended up buying one for my friend Isa. When I go up there and stay at that amazing condo where I always take pictures off of the deck, let's see. I always like to try to leave a gift when I have time to get to a store, because there are certain stores that we love shopping at. When I have time to get to a store, then I like to go and pick out something and I leave it on the counter of her house. when I'm up there. So last time I was up there, or one of the last times I was up there, I ended up getting her this Bonnie Bell well, that's not lipstick. What do we call that? Lip gloss. So there's my Aquanet. Now I did out the purple one because purple was the Ultra Super Hold Girls. And oh my gosh, that stuff. I mean, I can still like close my eyes and I can smell the smell of Aquanet hairspray. But that is the one that I used. I used that one, or I used the Super Spray, which I think came in the white and pink can. But anyway, so all I'm doing is I'm just putting things inside my locker, things that I would have. You know, I was an avid Glamour magazine and 17 magazine reader, so I always had a couple of those in there. They were always fun to have. So we're just going to stick this down. Oh, this girl, Nikki. Why can I remember that her name is Nikki? I don't know, but her name is Nikki. And I think that after she retired from modeling, and why I know this, I don't know why. I just, you know, I'm one of those people, I remember random thoughts. I think she retired to a farm. She retired to a farm. So I'm looking at the inside of my locker and I'm thinking, goodness gracious, I probably should have some books in here. But do I want more fun stuff? Well, you know what? I want my Trapper Keeper. I want my Trapper Keeper in here. So, because that is definitely, I mean, books are always going to, well, I was going to say books are always going to be around, but girls, my kids did not use textbooks in high school, as crazy as that sounds. They just had their, well, I think in high school they had Chromebooks. That's what they used, and they did not have actual, you know, real textbooks. So I'm just going to put this in here. It doesn't have to be exact. Doesn't have to be where it actually is a layout. I don't think that's important. Gosh, let's see. So I'm going to put my Walkman in here. Girls, I was not allowed, well, I shouldn't say allowed. Well, I'm going to say allowed. I wasn't allowed to listen to, what I'm going to say, rock and roll music when I was living at home. My parents were, you know, on the more religious side. And so I saved up from my job at Boomers. I saved up and I got myself a Walkman so that I could listen to music, the DL on the down low. So, let's see. Do I want to put my shoes over that? No. So, Tears for Fears. What was that song called? Shout. Shout. Let it on out. These are the gosh, I don't remember what it was called. So then we have MTV. That was the beginning of MTV. Actually, I think MTV came out when I was in middle school, now that I think about it. But it was still the 80s. Oh, gosh. Do I want to put this calculator in here? I do not have good memories from that calculator, but you know what? I'm not going to put it on me, that's for sure. We'll put it up here by the Trapper Keeper. We'll put it up here by the Trapper Keeper. And gosh, I don't even know if books are going to make it inside my locker. I don't think they are. I don't think that they are, because guess what? I don't care that much about them. I don't care that much about my books. And that should not be, well, it shouldn't be surprising to me. Oh gosh, let's see. I'm going to lay that down here, and then I'm actually going to pull, oh no. Will it work? I want to pull up the, yeah, okay. So I'm just layering things down just for fun. So, oh gosh. Oh goodness. These are not the right tweezers for this. So I'm just going to kind of push that up and try to use my fingers. I have short thumbnails right now because I need to, well, this one broke. I need to bring the rest of my nails down short. So I'm taking off some paper. That's okay because I'm putting down a sticker. So we're just going to layer that like that. Gosh, I don't like that either. So I'm going to pull this up and we're going to kind of, let's put it like this. So I'm going to go over what I pulled up and there we go. So, okay, so I think that's all that's going to fit inside. I went a little bit crazy with my stickers, with my sticker maker. And, well, goodness, I guess I could, well, maybe I'll put the books. I'll put the books on the back since they actually should be, oh goodness, I meant to make a backpack as well, but I'll put it on back just because I made it. And goodness, if I was doing school right, which actually I did, it's not like I didn't take it serious. It was just math. It was just math that I had an issue with. They should actually not be in my locker. They should actually be with me in my backpack. And I thought I made a backpack, but now I realize that I did not make a backpack. So, okay, so I'm going to put that on the back, and I'm going to actually just, for memories, I'm going to put the years that I was in high school. And I was in high school from 1986 to 1990. So I'm going to just write it down here, 1986 to 1990. So there we go. That is our little project for today. It is my locker. It is my locker with my little locker combo here area, my locker number, and then all the fun memories in it. So look at this. I did have curly hair. See, I can prove it. I can prove it. So I hope that you enjoyed making this little fun paper craft. I mean, I hope that you actually attempt to make it, because girls, this isn't a paper crane. This is 2 pieces of paper and some glue and some paper ephemera. And anybody can do this. And if your paper ephemera is drawings, if your paper ephemera is stickers, if your paper ephemera is things that you find on the internet, it is all just about making a fun project to go along with our movie. So let's get back to those prompts, and then we'll finish up with a quote, and then we'll be off on our way to have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Okay, be right back. Okay, so let's get to these journal prompts one last time, and then to the final quote, and then let's get out of here. So the first one is under breaking your stereotype. It's called the social mask. List 3 to 5 labels you feel others or society has placed on you. How much of that label is who you actually are, and how much of it is a persona you've adopted to fit in. That is the first one. The second one is under family and upbringing, called the parental pressure. What is the heaviest expectation your family has placed on you, and how has it influenced your life choices? Now with this one, you can either go about it as in when you were younger or right now, present day. Then the next 2 are under peeling back the layers, and it is called the what would I be question. If you didn't care about what your peers, family, or society thought of your choices, what hobbies, careers, or passions would you pursue? And then the next one is the janitor's perspective, and this is who in your life sees the real you, and what makes their perspective so valuable to you. And then the last 2 are under the heading of vulnerability and connection. And the first one is called the circle of trust. And the question is, what is the truth about yourself that you rarely share with others? And how does holding that in affect you? And now that I think about it, I might have said the first time around, how does holding that affect you? And that, it's, gosh, that's actually 2 different questions. So, you can really answer either of them. How does it affect you by holding it in, or how does that affect you just in general? So then the last one is called forgiving yourself. And the question here is, what is a mistake from your past that you are still holding on to, and what would it look like to finally forgive yourself for it? Okay, so those are the journal prompts for the Breakfast Club. And yes, I realize that I haven't said a whole lot about the Breakfast Club, but that's because there's not a whole lot to say. There's not a whole lot to say because we all saw it the first time around. We all kind of learned from it the first time around. And I'm going to go out there and just say that I think that if you learned what was meant to be learned the first time around, then I don't need to come on here and tell you to learn it again. I don't need to tell you to learn it again because I'm going to say, if you are watching my channel, you are a journaler, and so that means that you have reflected on things throughout your life. And if you're new to journaling, then maybe you're new to reflecting on your life, but I'm going to say that you have always been a deep thinker, This is just the first time that you're actually taking out a notebook and writing it down. Because girls, this is all about things that we all have known. We have all known that our backgrounds shape us. They shape us for the good, for the bad. Our background, our history, that is what shapes us. And then you add on the experiences over time that then, make you go this way and that way down the path that you are on in life. So, girls, this last one, well, it is just going to be that last letter that, it was Michael Anthony Hall, his character that wrote the essay that they were supposed to write, and it is playing at the very end of the movie. So let's get to it. It says, "Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever we did wrong. You see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms, in the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain and an athlete and a basket case, a princess and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club." So, ladies, what I would like us to take away from this today is the fact that, social masks, societal labels, they are just what they are. They are just labels. They don't really have any, context to who you actually are. Because at the end of the day, if you are authentic to yourself, then you are labelless in that negative way. Because, somebody can say something, somebody can label you, and that doesn't mean that that's who you are, because you know who you are. And goodness, do I get the irony here that I come on here and I call us women of a certain age, I call us paper girlies? Yeah, I get that. I get that. I hear that. However, when I'm putting on that label, I'm putting that as a label of positivity. A label of positivity in the same sense as, being called a mother or a wife, or a partner. I'm meaning in a positive way. I'm not meaning it in a negative way. And if you want to call yourself a woman of a certain age because you celebrate that, then you can take that on. I know that some women, here don't like that term. I get that. But again, like I said, that is just a label that I am putting out there, and you can take it or you can leave it. And what I'd like to leave you gals with today is, if there is nothing else that I have learned the last couple of months here on my channel and in the Facebook group, I have learned that even if we are different, we can still gather together. We can gather together in positivity. And that is just, that is exciting to me. That is exciting to me that so many women from different cultures, from different places, from different backgrounds, we gather together specifically because we are women of a certain age. Women of a certain age who love journaling, women of a certain age who love paper and crafting and stickers and all the fun stuff. And we can respect each other. We can respect each other in this space, in this community that I have built, because goodness gracious, if nothing else, the Breakfast Club is about wanting to find your space in a community that accepts you as you are, your authentic self. So gals, thank you so much for joining me here today, over the last couple of months. I'm here on my channel, over on the Facebook group. Thank you so much. Until next time, from one paper girlie to another, bye.